What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now this week there really wasn't anything major going on. You know, Biden's still an idiot. You still got the Afghanistan situation going on. Our country's going down the tubes. You've got people who are getting tired of the far left and Antifa, and now they're fighting in the streets. We saw that with Portland here recently. Now, nothing, there was no like killing or anything like that, just a few bumps and bruises, but other than that, nothing too serious. They just pushed them out of the town, which was funny. They deserved it. They came ready to start crap, violence, and it didn't work out for them. It's what you get for being a far leftist or Antifa. Anyways, people are getting tired of it. They're fighting back, trying to take back the country the way it's supposed to be. We don't believe, America was not founded on Marxism, communism, whatever you want to call it, or socialism. We fought against the Nazi Socialist Party, and that's literally what's taken over our country are these communists and socialists, and it's got to stop, because that's not what America's about. Anyways, that's all the major news that was going on this week that I saw. As I've told you in previous videos, I'm just an average Joe, an average American citizen. I was born here, Native American. I do not, write scripts and follow a script. I do write some notes down, a few facts about a particular movie or show I'm watching, or video game, or whatever I'm doing a review on. But I give you some facts about the show, and then I give you my take on it, my opinion. So it's just an honest review, like if you were talking to your buddy or friend. I'm not one of these YouTubers who thinks they got to write a whole script and have a freaking video going where it's showing clips from a particular movie they're talking about and making fun of it or whatever, blah 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 blah. That's not me. That's not what I do. That's more power to them if that's what they want to do, but I'm not like that. I just give you honest reviews, straight up. I don't give you no bullshit. Not to saying that all of them do, but there's some of them that do that, and then there's some that's not. So, knowing that, I'm going to try something a little bit different this week. The first thing I'm going to talk about is, I just got done here recently watching the new movie called Snake Eyes, which is supposed to be based off the G.I.Joe cartoon character Snake Eyes. Before you watch this movie, if you haven't already, don't bother. The movie flopped, and I could see why it flopped. I just checked it out just to see what it would be like, and I wish I could get my 2 hours back. First of all, let's talk about the first major problem with this movie, okay, which Hollywood tends to do quite often, especially Disney and Marvel lately. Let's change the race of an iconic, established character. The guy that plays Snake Eyes, the original character, He is white. A white boy. Fuck off if you don't like a white boy. Kiss my ass. I don't fucking care, Disney. Leave the characters the fuck alone. Quit changing everything about them that made them popular. Stop the race swap. It's fucking ignorant. But that's the big elephant in the room. They changed the race of the main character, Snake Eyes. Now let's get on to the second part of the fucking movie that's fucking retarded. It has nothing to do with the original Snake Eyes character. Not a fucking thing. The original Snake Eyes character was adopted. His parents were killed. He gets adopted by this Japanese dojo. This Japanese... I can't remember exactly if he's a warlord or... He's a head of a ninja clan. And he trains him alongside his own son. They end up becoming like brothers. But eventually they have a falling out. And of course, Storm Chaser is the white ninja. And then Snake Eyes is the black ninja. And then they're all time, Storm Chaser's all the time trying to kill him. Because he failed his clan. I think he killed his father or some shit. I can't remember exactly what happened. And then Snake Eyes tried to stop him, but it didn't happen. But the clan found out what was going on. So he got kicked out of the clan. And now, because of that, he's all the time trying to kill Snake Eyes. I'm pretty sure that was the gist of it. I may not be 100% accurate. I'm not all into the G.I.Joe shit. I know a little bit, but not that much. Never was a huge fan. Anyways, they did drop some names in this movie, like Cobra, G.I. Joe. They had a woman that played, had a really small role as Scarlet. They showed a really small role of the Baroness. And they mention a couple other characters, and that's it. The rest of the movie was shit. It sucked. It was absolutely terrible. It reminded me of like some cheesy ass 90s B-rated action flick. That's literally what it reminded me of. It was dumb. They changed the entire background story, the entire history of the G.I. Joe and Cobra shit. Yeah, it was just dumb. Dumb. Like I said, don't waste your time. I absolutely do not recommend this movie. 2 thumbs down. You will be extremely disappointed. Alright. I actually had something else in store this week to talk about, but I wanted to talk about that first. Now, let's move on to your B-movie reviews. This week, Movieholics is Horror Week. Got 2 horror flicks that are basically creature features. Now, horror tends to label creature features in several different categories. Personally, I consider creature features against most of the film industry. I consider creature features something like giant animals, insects, that kind of thing. Where it's an actual beast-like monster or something. But they also consider aliens and mutants and I don't know, certain disfigured people or whatever as creatures too, and they consider them creature features. I don't. I consider that more sci-fi horror, not creature feature. But anyways, I selected 2 creature features this week. The first one, I've already done a review on the first movie of it. This is the second one. This is the sequel. It was called Gnaw, Food of the Gods Part 2. And it was done in 1989. There was no box office numbers for this. It's loosely based off H.G. Wells' book called Food of the Gods. However, he splits his book into 3 books. It's actually a trilogy. But these movies, including the one another one that's supposedly loosely based off it called Village of Giants in like the 50s or 60s or something, none of them really follow any of the story of the books. None of them do. They're basically just mainly name in general. Yeah, it has a little bit to do with some giantism in this movie, but nothing, and maybe a scientist, but that's about it. Basically, the story is, this movie stars Paul Kofis and Lisa Schrage. I think it's Schrage. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. The story basically is a female scientist calls an old student of hers, a brilliant student of hers, the doctor that's working at the university that you see throughout most of the movie, Paul's character. Anyway, she calls him, tells him about this boy that they experimented with this experimental drug and had good results to treat giantism. This is an actual thing. There is a hormone that sometimes spurts wrong and it causes giantism in people. But anyways, when she tested it on this boy, it interacted differently, and instead of helping stop the giantism, it actually accelerated it and changed it a little bit to where most people that have giantism, they end up getting a little deformed or whatever. It doesn't happen. It's not happening to this kid. She asked for his help because his behavior gets strange too. He starts getting violent and hateful when he was a real kind boy or whatever. So his attitudes also changed. So he starts working on a formula to try to change him back. He experiments on some rats, and of course they get big and start killing people at the university. Eventually, he does come up with a cure, and he's pretty much late by that time. The rats got out of control. The cops came in. They shot them all. Now he has this white rat that it's a female. He used it to lure the the male's out. They killed her too. He was going to try to cure her, but he didn't get a chance to. And then they leave the movie off because at the very end, the 10-year-old boy that had the giantism, he grows out of control and he becomes really big, and he kills the scientist that was trying to help him, the female scientist, and then he escapes and takes off. Apparently the boy's parents are rich and they were trying to keep him enclosed in the house while they were trying to figure a way to put him back to normal size. But he escapes and gets away and kills her at the very end. And that's the end of the movie. This one was actually better than the first one. I have to say that. The first one was just dumber and shit. This one wasn't too bad. It was okay. Yeah, some of the special effects were a little bit still cheesy, but they were manageable. There's one scene where they show the doctor screwing this chick, and he turns into like a giant while he's screwing her, and starts tearing her apart. It's kind of weird. It was really silly looking. TNA alert, there is some TNA in this movie, even some ass chewing, literally. But all in all, it was okay. It's a cheesy, campy horror flick. It was silly, but it was fun to watch. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was way better than the first one. I can tell you that much. And unless you're a hardcore horror fan, you might not like this movie. So I give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. It was decent. It was all right. It gets a 3 for me overall. You know, the acting wasn't bad and all that. Alright, moving on. The next movie is a creature feature that was done in 1990. And it starred Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, Finn Carter, and Reba McEntire. You can Reba me all fucking day long. I love Reba. I'm not a fan of her music or anything, but she was a good looking woman back in the day, I'm gonna tell you that much. Anyways, and a redhead to boot. I got a sore spot for redheads. So anyways, Tremors, 1990. It made about 16 million worldwide. That's really not that great. It was okay for back then, but it wasn't like super duper. For whatever reason though, it became a cult following, and there are a ton of sequels of this movie, and I am not watching all them sequels because I know that after the first one they just get dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber, worse and worse. So I'm not even going to bother. Basically, you have some sandworms that for whatever reason, after billions of years, finally decide that, I don't know, maybe they've been thawed out or some shit. Now they're in this desert and they're attacking people. There's like 4 of them or whatever at the beginning of the movie, and then they kill the first one off pretty quick, and then you have 3 of them that they're trying to fight throughout the whole movie. And it's a small little bitty, I mean itty bitty town out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. There's only about 10 people in the whole fucking town, so it's kind of dumb that there's only that many people there. It makes no sense. It really doesn't, that there's only 10 people there. It really doesn't make no sense. Anyway, the story is you have Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, and they play these 2 redneck goofballs doing odd jobs for the town. They meet up with a geologist who is checking out seismic graphs or seismic activity, trying to explain what's going on because she's seen some strange readings. Eventually, they find out about the worms, sandworms, and then through the rest of the movie, they're trying to get out of the town and get to the next town, which is like 10 miles away or so, through some hills or mountains or whatever. Because apparently, they track through vibration and sound in the ground. So they're trying to stay on the rocks. So they're trying to head for the mountain trail, which is through, rocky, so the worms can't get them. Well, they didn't quite make it, and they eventually have to kill off the worms, figure out ways to kill off the worms with bombs and shit. And they do. And that's pretty much the end of the fucking movie. The special effects was actually really good. They're decent in this movie for a creature feature. I was actually surprised. It does have some comedy in it. It's kind of like a comedy horror. It's kind of funny. Like I said, everybody pretty much remembers the first one. No one cares about the sequels, honestly. They were trash. But if you like a decent, I think just about anybody would probably like this film. Even if you're not in the horror, you may be in a comedy, you give it a go, because it's actually a pretty decent movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. I definitely highly recommend this movie. Just don't watch the sequels and you'll be fine. Anyways, I give it a good solid 4. It was a really good movie. Campy, cheesy, fun again, but really good. There's good campy, cheesy fun, and then there's bad campy, cheesy fun. This one was a good one. Definitely a solid 4. Give it a try. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you have anything, thoughts that you might want to tell me about from what I said earlier in the video, leave them down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of Snake Eyes if you've already seen it. If you have any movies, B-movies that you may think I may never have heard of, or any underrated movies, films you think of that I may never heard of, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. Until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.